Assalamu alaikum. I am Jahangir Alam, lecturer in physics at Milestone College. I welcome you all in my online class. First of all, thanks to Almighty that He has given me the ability to take this class. I am carrying on my regular activities. Dear student, I also hope all of you are well with your family members by the mercy of Almighty and carrying on your regular studies, staying at home. Okay? Dear student, today we are going to discuss some important and interesting realistic topic from the 7th chapter of physics first paper. Okay, that is the chapter of structural properties of matter. And today we will discuss mainly on viscosity, coefficient of viscosity, Stokes law, etc. and some important mathematical problem related to this topic. Okay, dear student, so let's start our class. Right, dear student, today we are going to discuss about a special property of liquid and gaseous medium, right? And the property or a special property is viscosity. It is a special property of liquid and gaseous medium. Dear student, if you observe the current or flow of current standing at the bank of a river, you will observe that the current adjacent to the bank is almost zero or very small, but the speed of the current in the middle of the river is maximum, right? So what is the reason? The reason for this event is due to the special property or due to the viscosity. Okay? When the water tries to slide or move, contracting or maintaining the contact with the stationary river, there is a friction force between the stationary bank and the water layer. Here the friction is more, that's why the speed of the current is very less at the bank or nearer to the bank. But if you move to the middle of the river, then the speed will be increased with the distance from the bank, because the friction force or viscous force, that is the viscous force, is very less or decreases with the distance from the bank. So that's why the speed of current remain very less at the or adjacent to the bank of the river, and it will be maximum at the middle of a river. Dear student, the property of liquid which is responsible for this event is viscosity. Okay? Now we can see the definition of viscosity. It is a very important definition. Okay. The definition says that the property of a fluid which tries to oppose relative velocity of different layers of a liquid is called velocity of the viscosity of the liquid, right? Dear student, if we consider, suppose this is the bank of a river. You will observe that the velocity of current in the bank or adjacent to the bank is very less. But if you looked a point a little much far from the bank, then you will observe that the velocity of the current will be definitely more than that the layer of the water adjacent to the bank. Then the velocity of the next layer will be more than this one. The velocity of the next layer will be more than this one, right? So in this way you will observe that the velocity of the current in the middle of the river will be maximum. Okay, dear student, suppose the velocity of this layer is v and the velocity of this layer definitely more than v. If we consider the velocity of the layer is v plus dv, that is the change in velocity or increase in velocity between the two layers is change in the velocity between the two layers is dv due to the distance dy. If the distance between the two layers is dy and the change in velocity between the two layers is dv, then dv by dy is called velocity gradient. Right? This is an important term, velocity gradient. Dear student, scientist Newton gave two laws about the viscous force. We have observed the viscosity. The viscous force is depend on or is directly proportional to the area of the layer in contact and is directly proportional to the velocity gradient. Okay? Dear student, if we consider two layer of liquid, suppose the velocity of the layer is v and the velocity of the layer which is situated at a distance denoted by dy is v plus dv, then due to the increase in distance dy, the change in velocity or increase in velocity is dv and area of each layer is a. Then according to Newton's law, we can say that the viscous force F is directly proportional to the a, that is the area of the layer, right? And he also said that F is directly proportional to the velocity gradient that we have already discussed a few minutes earlier. So combining these two expressions, we can write F is directly proportional to the A into dv dy, right? Dear student, as usual, we can remove the proportional sign by a constant of proportionality. Okay? Here we can introduce F is equal to eta A dv dy. Here eta is the constant of proportionality. This eta or constant is known as coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity. Dear student, already we have observed that the viscous force can be expressed as F is equal to eta A dv dy. Here F is viscous force, eta is the coefficient of viscosity, A is the area in contact of the liquid, dv dy is called velocity gradient. If we place or use the value of dv dy as 1 and the value of A is also 1, then we can write that F is equal to eta. That is, for a special case, the coefficient of viscosity will be equal to the numeric value of F, right? So we can give the definition of coefficient of viscosity on the basis of this concept. Okay? Okay. So we can give the definition of coefficient of viscosity like this: the tangential force per unit area. They said that unit area, because we show that when the value of A is 1, that is the unit area. Tangential force per unit area required to maintain unit velocity gradient. Unit velocity gradient, that is dv dy was 1. So when the velocity gradient is 1, but to maintain the velocity gradient, unit velocity gradient in a liquid is called coefficient of viscosity. Okay? Dear student, now we will see the dimension of eta, that is dimension of coefficient of viscosity and unit of coefficient of viscosity. You know, F is equal to, or viscous force is equal to eta A dv dy, or eta is equal to, we can write dy dv into F by A, right? So therefore the dimension of eta is equal to dimension of dy, that is distance, dv velocity, so L T inverse 1 multiplied by force M L T inverse 2 divided by area, that is L square. Okay? So after the calculation you will get m L inverse 1 T inverse 1. So this is the dimension for coefficient of viscosity, right? Now we'll see the unit. The unit of it will be Newton second per meter square. Okay, so in some cases the unit of eta is used as poise, right? It is another unit of coefficient of viscosity, and in that case 1 Newton second per meter square is equal to 10 poise. This is important for your MCQ, right? Dear student, now we will see an important term, terminal velocity. This term is very closely involved to our special property of fluid, that is viscosity. Terminal velocity is very closely involved to viscosity. Suppose you drop a small sphere in a liquid contained in a container. Suppose this is a small sphere. If we drop this sphere into the liquid, at first due to the gravitation, the velocity of the sphere increases in the liquid. That is, when the sphere moves downward, the velocity of the sphere initially increases with time, but within a very short period, due to the upward force, that is due to the buoyancy of the liquid and viscous force of the liquid. You know, viscous force is always oppose the motion of a particle. When the bobs or sphere moves downward, then the viscous force will act in the opposite direction. So within a very short period, the weight of the sphere and will be balanced by buoyancy and viscous force of the liquid. And at that moment there will be no force. That is the net force on the sphere will be 0. Since the net force is 0 on the sphere, there will be no acceleration in the motion of the sphere. So at that moment the sphere will move with a constant velocity. This constant velocity is known as terminal velocity, right? So now we can see the definition of terminal velocity, right? So the definition of terminal velocity can be stated as the constant velocity of a body moving through a liquid is called terminal velocity. That is, the constant velocity of a body moving through a liquid is called its terminal velocity. Dear student, now we will see an important law which is known as Stokes law. Scientist Stokes proved that, or said that, if a small sphere having radius r descends through a liquid with coefficient of viscosity denoted by eta with a terminal velocity v, then the upward viscous force depends on some parameter, and the parameters are viscosity of the coefficient of viscosity of the liquid, terminal velocity and terminal velocity of the sphere and radius of the sphere. Dear student, suppose if a sphere whose radius is r, if its descent with a terminal velocity v through a liquid whose coefficient of viscosity is eta, then the upward viscous force F depends on, or he show that the viscous force F is directly proportional to the coefficient of viscosity eta. F is directly proportional to the radius of the sphere, and F is directly proportional to the terminal velocity of the sphere. Okay, so combining these three expressions, we can write F is directly proportional to eta, r and v. So we can replace the proportional sign with a constant, and F is equal to, if the constant is k, then k is equal to eta r v, right? Constant of proportionality, right? Dear students, scientist Stokes proved that by the fluid dynamics, the value of k is equal to 6 pi. So finally the Stokes expression becomes F is equal to 6 pi eta r v, right? This expression is known as Stokes law. We will use this expression to solve some mathematical problem. Okay, this is very important expression. Okay, dear student, now we will see an important expression which is known as equation of Stokes terminal velocity. You know what terminal velocity is and what is the Stokes expression. Dear student, if we consider, suppose there is a sphere whose radius is r, which is descending through a liquid. Right? It moves with a terminal velocity v. Okay. So in that case, weight of the body, if we write weight of the body or sphere, W is equal to mg, right? Here m is mass, so mass can be expressed by the product of volume and density of the sphere. So if the density of the sphere is rho s, that is density of the solid multiplied by g, but volume of the sphere, if the radius of the sphere is r, then its volume can be expressed as 4 by 3 pi r cube into rho s into g. This is the weight or downward force of the sphere, but according to Archimedes principle, it will experience a upward force or buoyancy due to the liquid. So upward force or buoyancy can be expressed as F is equal to the weight of the displaced water. The buoyancy is equal to the weight of the displaced water by the sphere. So weight of the displaced water will be 4 by 3 pi r cube rho L into g. Here rho L is the density of the liquid. So net force of the sphere in the downward direction will be net force. It will be 4 by 3 pi r cube rho s g minus 4 by 3 pi r cube rho L into g. This is the weight of the body and this is the buoyancy on the body. So it will be 4 by 3 pi r cube, it will be rho s minus rho L into g. Dear student, in the case of terminal velocity, this net force or this downward net force will be equal to the viscous force, right? So in that case, we can write 6 pi eta r v. This is according to Stokes law, this is the viscous force, which is will be equal to 4 by 3 pi r cube rho s minus rho L into g, right? So dear student, from this expression we can write that terminal velocity v will be 2 r square divided by 9 eta into rho s minus rho L into g, right? So this is the expression for terminal velocity. Okay, so this is very important expression. We will use this expression to solve some mathematical problem, right? Dear student, now we will see some mathematical problem related to this expression. Right, dear student, here is our first mathematical problem. In the question they said that a metal sphere of radius 200 mm is falling through a liquid with terminal velocity of 2.1 10 to the power minus 2 meter per second. The coefficient of viscosity of the liquid is 0.003 kg per meter per second. Calculate the viscous force, right? Dear student, The information given in the questions are: first, they said the terminal velocity, the radius of the sphere, right? So, radius r is equal to 200 millimeter. We need to convert the value into meter, so it will be 0.2 meter. Then the terminal velocity. Terminal velocity, which is denoted by v. V is equal to 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 2 meter per second. The coefficient of viscosity of the liquid which is denoted by eta. Eta is equal to 0.003 kg per meter per second. So we need to calculate applied force is equal to what, right? Dear student, here we know viscous force F is equal to 6 pi eta r v, right? So using the value in this expression, we can calculate the viscous force. 6 pi means 3.14 eta. Eta means the coefficient of viscosity 0.003 into r. R means radius 0.2 and velocity 2.1 into 10 to the power minus 2, right? After the calculation, you will get, it will be 2.374 into 10 to the power minus 4 Newton. So dear student, this is the final answer for the mathematical problem. Okay, I hope you got it. Dear student, here is our second mathematical problem. In the problem, they said that a liquid drop of radius, here is the radius, moving with constant velocity through a liquid having coefficient of viscosity 1.8 10 to the power minus 5 Newton second per meter square. If the viscous force is 2.7 10 to the power minus 9 Newton, then calculate the terminal velocity. Here we have to calculate the terminal velocity. So the information given here first they said the radius, right? Radius r 0.2 millimeter, right? Dear student, but we need to convert the value into meter. So it will be 0.0002 meter. Then they said the coefficient of viscosity. Coefficient of viscosity eta is equal to 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 5 Newton second per meter square. Viscous force F is equal to 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 9 Newton. So we need to calculate the velocity, that is terminal velocity. right? Dear student, we know viscous force F can be expressed as 6 pi eta VR, or V is equal to F divided by 6 pi eta and R. So using the value of this quantity from this side, here the value of F is 2.7 into 10 to the power minus 9 divided by 6 into pi means 3.14, eta means 1.8 into 10 to the power minus 5, and then finally R 0.0002 meter. Okay, so after the calculation you will get 4 into 10 to the power minus 2. The unit of velocity is meter per second, right? Dear student, this is the terminal velocity which is required in the question. Okay, right? Dear student, here is our third mathematical problem. The question said that at what terminal velocity will a air bubble of diameter 0.8 millimeter move through a liquid whose coefficient of viscosity is 0.15 Newton second per meter square. So yeah, terminal velocity is to be determined of the air bubble. Density of air and liquid are respectively 1.293 kg per meter cube and 900 kg per meter cube. This is the density of air and this is the density of the liquid through which the air bubble is going upward. So dear student, the information given here, the diameter, but we need to write the value of radius. So radius is equal to 0.8 divided by 2 millimeter, or 0.4 millimeter, but we need to convert the value into meter, so it will be 0.0004 meter, right? And coefficient of viscosity, eta is equal to 0.15 Newton second per meter square. So density of air which is denoted by rho A is equal to 1.293 kg per meter cube, and density of liquid rho L is equal to 900 kg per meter cube, right? So we have to calculate the terminal velocity of the air bubble. Dear student, we know the terminal velocity V is equal to 2 R square divided by 9 eta into here. In case of this problem, we have to write rho L minus rho A into G. G means acceleration due to gravity. So, dear student, we need to write the value of the quantities 2 into R square. R means 0.0004 square divided by 9 into eta. The value of eta is 0.15. Okay, multiplied by rho L 900 minus 1.293 into 9.8. Okay, and after the final calculation you will get 2.09 into 10 to the power minus 3. The unit will be meter per second, right? Dear student, this is the answer, that is, this is the terminal velocity of the air bubble. Okay, I hope you got it. Dear student, now we will see a creative question, and the question is from Borisal Board 2016. In the stem of the question, they said that two spheres reach to the bottom of terpene oil with terminal velocity. The large sphere, there are two spheres, the large sphere crosses 21 centimeter in 3 seconds. So from this information we can determine the terminal velocity of the large sphere. Densities of the sphere and oil are respectively 4000 kg per meter cube. This is the density for the spheres of the both sphere, and 8900 kg per meter cube. This is the density of the oil. Determine the diameter of the large sphere is 6 centimeter and eta for the oil is 1.5 10 to the power minus 2 poise. So questions are: calculate the viscous force on the large sphere during the terminal velocity, and if the diameter of the small sphere is 4 centimeter, then which sphere will reach the bottom first? Okay, now we are going to solve the first question. Here we have to calculate the viscous force on the large sphere. To determine the viscous force, you know, according to Stokes law, viscous force can be calculated at F is equal to 6 phi eta r v, right? So here the velocity of the large sphere can be calculated velocity or terminal velocity v is equal to, it crosses 21 centimeter in 3 seconds. So we can divide 21 divided by 3 centimeter, that is 7 centimeter. But we need to convert the value into meter per second. So it will be 0.07 meter per second. Okay. So radius of the sphere, here the diameter is given, so we need to calculate the radius. Radius r is equal to 6 divided by 2, 6 centimeter divided by 2, that is 3 centimeter. This is also be converted to SI unit, that is 0.03 meter, right? Coefficient of viscosity eta, it is equal to 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 2 poise, right? So viscous force, we know viscous force F is equal to 6 pi eta r v, right? So for the first sphere we can determine the radius by r1 and its velocity by v1. So here we will replace r by r1 and v by v1. Okay. So using the value of 6 pi means 3.14 eta, eta means 1.5 into 10 to the power minus 2, r1 means 0.03, and finally v1 is 0.07, right? Dear student, after the calculation you will get 5.93 into 10 to the power minus 4 Newton. So this is the viscous force on the large sphere during the terminal velocity. Okay. Right, dear student, now we have to show that which sphere will reach the bottom first. That is, here the velocity of the large sphere was calculated it was 7 centimeter per second or 0.7 meter per second. Here we need to determine or calculate the velocity of the small sphere. Dear student, so first we need to determine the velocity of the small sphere, then we have to compare the velocity with the large sphere. Then we can conclude or we can give the decision that which sphere will reach to the bottom of the liquid. Dear student, you know, radius of the large sphere, radius of large sphere, which is denoted by R1. R1 is equal to, already we have calculated 6 centimeter by 2 or 3 centimeter, that is 0.03 meter. Similarly, radius of small sphere R2 4 centimeter divided by 2. Here they said that radius diameter of the small sphere is 4 centimeter. So 4 centimeter divided by 2, that is 2 centimeter, that is 0.02 meter. Okay, and velocity of the large sphere, which is denoted by V1. V1 is, already we have calculated 0.07 meter per second. So velocity of the small sphere V2 is equal to what? Right? We know, dear student, the relation between terminal velocity and the radius of the sphere V2 by V1 is equal to R2 square by R1 square. Okay? So V2 is equal to R2 square R1 square multiplied by V1. Dear student, if we use the value of R2, R1 and V1, here R2 is 0.02 square, R1 is 0.03 square multiplied by 0.07 meter per second. So after the calculation, you will get the velocity will be 0.031 meter per second, right? We observed V1 is equal to 0.07 meter per second and V2 is equal to 0.031 meter per second. Therefore, V1 greater than V2. That is, the velocity of the large sphere is more than that of the small sphere. So we can say that the large sphere will reach to the bottom first. Okay? So dear student, I hope you got it. So thank you very much being with me in my class. May Allah bless all of you. Assalamu alaikum.